You're watching the Movie Dawgs.
Your host, Joshua Church.
Hey there, guys. So since Spider-Man Brand New Day is still in theaters and still being talked about, I figured it would be a good time to, put together a little, audio thing here for quick bites for, good comic book recommendations for Spider-Man. Now, I have a couple of really good ones that I like to go back to over and over again. I really love... the death of the Stacys obviously is a classic. Spider-Man having to, go through that, losing Captain Stacy and then eventually Gwen Stacy. There's a reason why this is an iconic moment in Spider-Man history and always will be done over and over and over again because it's such a strong emotional story. And how do you keep going when you feel like you're causing people pain? It's probably one of the biggest reasons why Spider-Man comics and movies tend to so often over and over again put Peter through this and have him lose people and have him go like, I can't be with you because you're in danger, and like all that. The Spider-Man, self-flagellation is because of that storyline, and it's totally worth reading. Another great one that connects with that one is Spider-Man Blue, which is by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb. And that one is part of the color series that they were doing across all the Marvel, stories. They did Hulk Gray and they did Captain America White. But this one was, a really emotional story of Peter transcribing his feelings about losing Gwen, talking about the moments that they had spent together. And it was heartbreaking and really, 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 really good and worth reading. I absolutely love it. Another one that I also appreciate is Spider-Man Life Story. This is also a mini-series that they had done across different titles, but Spider-Man's one's probably the best one. Fantastic Four is also really good, but the Spider-Man one is basically telling the story from a perspective of, well, if Peter had aged normally since the 60s, how would the story change, and how would you tell that story to include all those, like the Clone Saga and the Black Suit and all of that other stuff? And it's done very, very well. So I really appreciated that story as well, because comics never let characters age, and I've always bitched about if you're going to have Miles Morales, if you're going to have Spider-Boy, Spider-Girl, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Punk, all these people, then why the hell can't Peter be the patriarch of the family and be older? But I will rage against that forever. I own a comic book shop for the love of God and River Monster Comics, and I will bitch about that anytime people want to talk about it. Now, another one that I really love is Kraven's Last Hunt. That one's also, also very classic. It's the iconic Kraven story. To me, it's one of the best, stories featuring a villain and making use of that villain in comics history. I feel like it's a really, 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 really great story and totally worth checking out. There is also Shed, which was a Lizard story. It's a really messed up story that has Lizard like evolving and getting worse, and it's leading up to the whole Grim Hunt storyline, which was really good also a recommendation there. And let me think. Other than that, I would say maybe Return of the Sinister Six, just because it's classic and I loved it growing up. Eric Larson killed it in the art department, and they introduced so much cool stuff. It's like Spider-Man had that awesome cast that made him look like he had a robotic arm and an eye and all that stuff, and it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that storyline. And of course, there's Brand New Day, which is pretty good. And there was, let's see, like there was One More Day was the one where he had to deal with Mephisto to give up, everybody knowing who he was. That one's heartbreaking and really hard to watch now. Superior Spider-Man is a great one, where Doc Ock takes over his body, and I hated it at first, but by the end of the story, I really enjoyed it and thought it was a cool take, even though still to this day, Peter is feeling the effects from that one. And also honorable mention, maybe The Gauntlet, where it was the Craven family sending Spider-Man through, like, multiple villains. Or maybe that was Grim Hunt, was different. The one I'm thinking of is, it was Norman Osborn in that one, in, The Gauntlet, that was sending him through all of the villains over and over and over again. And it was a whole storyline with, Goblin Queen and all this other stuff. But anywho, there is a ton of great Spider-Man. Let's just say, like, even me hitting the greatest hits, it's like there's a bunch of great stories in there. You can never go wrong with the Ditko originals. You can never go wrong with the John Romita original run. And you can't go wrong with, like, the Black Suit Venom run. And even right now, I feel like the stories are good. So there's a ton of good ones. Definitely check them out. Support your local comic book shops. And I appreciate you guys. I'll see you here next time on Quick Bites.
Hey, like and subscribe. Be sure to check out more of the content on the Movie Dawgs channel. All the reviews and cool remarks and cool guests like me, Josh Church, the owner of River Monster Comics. We are in Dunnellon, Florida, so if you're ever in the area, come by and check out the shop. Get some cool nerd stuff, comics, pops, toys, whatever. And swing by and just have some cool conversations about movies and all things pop culture. We appreciate you. See you soon.